So, hello and welcome back. It is now the end of August. It's Saturday. We got in yesterday afternoon sometime. Spent some time just hoovering and mopping up, dust and things that have collected over the last few weeks. And obviously the last time I was here on my own, so I didn't leave it that clean. But we're all here now, the kids, my better half. And we'll be here for a good few weeks now. So first things first, we went shopping. We've just come back from the supermarket. It's very warm, it's beautiful weather. Tomorrow is San Rocco, which is the village saint, so that'll be a big party. Although the procession, which involves carrying a statue of the saint on your shoulders down to either up to the top of the village or down to the bottom of the village, is not going to happen. It didn't happen last year either, because the curé doesn't want people stood that close to each other carrying it down. So we'll just be stood close to each other having a party in the village. I think pretty much everyone who's here is vaccinated, and there are a lot less people here than there were even last summer. So still, that'll be a good day tomorrow. And in the meanwhile, before I really get going on the building site, I'm going to clean up. We've got this jacuzzi here that was stood there. It's had a hole in it. I fixed the hole. Not very prettily, but it'll do. I'm now going to inflate it and then get the pressure washer out, wash that down, wash everything that needs pressure washing down while it's out, and then put some water in it so that the kids can paddle around in that a bit, and perhaps the parents too at some point. And then we're going to get everything set up. Tomorrow is going to be an entire day of partying, and I think as of Monday I shall be back plastering and finishing up the bedroom. The other noticeable change that you might see is I changed these out yesterday because the old ones were duff, so we've got some nice coloured ones now, make the place look more like a circus, which it most of the time is. So I shall keep you updated. This video probably won't go out now till Monday, because I think tomorrow I'll just film the various bits, and I shall film what I'm doing today, and then as of next week we'll be back on the building. So it's good to be here. With a bit of luck we'll be here for 3 weeks. I might have to pop up to Innsbruck once or twice for work in between times, but I've got my laptop with me, so I can do a lot of home office stuff here. And for the rest of it, well, I really want to get the bedroom done as quickly as possible. It'll be my birthday in a few weeks' time, and the brother-in-law has said he wants to come by, so it would be nice if he didn't have to sort of sleep on the floor. Yeah, well, there's always the sofa bed, but it would be nice to have that room done, and we're not too far off. Okay, right, I'm going to get the pump out, just down here, plug it in, and do some physical labour in the intense heat. Okay, well, we got pretty much everything set up. It's not a blistering day. The jacuzzi is back there. I'll show you that in a minute. It's full of water. Everything seems to be fine. And I'm just starting off on the first little fishy for a very early dinner. So we then have a drink afterwards and early to bed, ready for San Rocco tomorrow. So I'll show you what the fish looks like. The kids are having burgers. So I'm going to get those done, but the fish will take a little bit longer than the burgers. So I'm going to put them on in a minute, because they'll go on the infrared grill over here, which is very clever and very hot. And we'll be eating in about 15 minutes, I guess.
Das ist so wieder schön, wie sie sein soll.
Wusstet ihr noch, als wir immer...
Okay, well, it's finally San Rocco and it's lunchtime, and I'm just preparing what we'll be eating. So have these little baby orato, bream, I think they are in English. I've made up one here, so I'm going to fold them up in aluminium. Get some lemon on the outside. We get some lemon on the inside. And we'll get some lemon on the other side in a second when I have my second hand trick underneath here. We're going to have some salt, but not too much. Some pepper, which is going to be complicated one-handed, but you get the idea. I'll go over it again in a second. And some garlic, which is going to go a bit outside and a bit inside in here. And then I'm going to just fold over the aluminium like this and wrap it so that we make like a bag like that, and then stand it up, and into there goes some olive oil, and some obviously local white wine. And now I'm just going to close up the rest of it just like I did on this one here. And when that goes on the barbecue, really hot, it'll sort of steam with the wine, and the fish will become very, very tender and pretty tasty. And the lemon juice kind of gets rid of all of the bitterness that you could have from the fish, or the saltiness. It sort of reduces that, and that'll be delicious. And over here in the fridge, I already have, let me see here, some melon. And down here, somewhere. Sure, I put it in the fridge. Obviously getting old. There it is. Just blind. Tomato, mozzarella, and Parma ham. And that's going to be lunch for Sarocca with some beef, which I'm going to do in tagliata, which means fried very hot. Grilled very hot and then cut into little slices with a bit of parmesan on top. So there's the fish cooking away. Beef is about to go on here, the infrared bit, which is heating up nicely. And then I'll show you in a minute, a little bit of rosemary and a little bit of cheese on top of the beef. Cut it into thin slices, and that'll be absolutely fabulous. And there are worse places to set up your barbecue, let's face it.
alla cena nell'agnello. O Signore, non sono degno di partecipare alla tua mensa, ma di soltanto una parola e io sarò salvato.
So as you can hear in the background, we're in the middle of the church service for San Rocco. Obviously, I'm still outside along with most other able-bodied people. The older people are allowed inside because it's because of the virus. There's a reduced number of seats available, so we stay outside. But in a couple of minutes, they'll be carrying the stretcher outside. We're not allowed to carry it down to where we would normally do at the bottom of the village down there. But it'll be taken outside so that it gets a bit of fresh air. And that's San Rocco who saved the region from the plague.
Dove la mettiamo di qua? Dove la mettiamo? Mettiamola qui.
Aspetta.
o Maria, piena di grazia, il Signore è con te. Tu sei benedetta fra le donne, benedetto è il frutto del tuo seno, Gesù.
Santa Maria, Madre di Dio, prega per noi peccatori, adesso è l'ora della nostra morte. Amen.
Gloria al Padre, al Figlio e allo Spirito Santo. San Rocco,
Prega per noi.
Santa Maria,
Prega per noi. Un bel canto di gioia e d'amore, su fedeli suoniamo al patrono, che riduce infallibile buono, che ci addice al cammino del cielo. Salve, salve, potente avvocato, salve o nostro speciale patrono, la sua intorno al tuo fulgido trono, vogliamo tutti venire con te. La sua corona al tuo fulgido trono, vogliamo tutti venire con te. Or che in cielo risiede beato, d'ogni nido le fervide squadre, giubilando noi toccano Padre, riverenzi prostrati ai suoi piedi. Salve, salve, potente avvocato, salve o nostro speciale patrono, la sua corona al tuo fulgido trono, vogliamo tutti venire con te. La sua corona al tuo fulgido trono, vogliamo tutti venire con te.
buona serata a tutti.
Okay, well, it is now finally Tuesday morning, and I am finally going to go and do something on the building site. It's been a very busy and very stressy start to the week. Saroko was lovely, as you will have seen now. And then on Monday morning, it all kicked off with work, so a huge amount of things to do. And today the internet's been playing up, which hasn't made video conferencing easier. But I've managed to clear at least 2-3 hours now, hopefully, to get the big holes there and over here. Whoops, where's my finger gone? There's my finger there, up there. Get that plastered up. The kids will be going to sleep in a minute, so I won't be able to sand the beams just yet. But I've got the metalwork for over here, And then I've got fine plaster everywhere. I've got the joints to do on the plasterboard. I'm sorry, I'm spinning the camera around. I know you guys hate it when I do that. But I'm out of practice. It's been many weeks. So I'm going to go and mix up some raw plaster and get those bits plugged so that they can dry out, because that takes a while to dry out. And once I've done that, I think I'll probably start taking everything to bits again so that I can do the joints on this piece and maybe up on the ceiling. And then, unfortunately, I have to go back to Innsbruck tomorrow, and hopefully should be back down here on Friday. I'm leaving the kids here with my better half. And then over the weekend I'll be able to get some more stuff going, because I really, really want this room to be finished towards the beginning of September, within the first week of September, because then we will have my girlfriend's brother and his girlfriend coming to stay, and it would be nice to have more than just one pokey little room. So there we go, that's the plan, and I'm hoping that I'll manage to pull my finger out and get on with it. But for now, I'm going to go and mix up a bucket of wall mortar stuff and spread it into those holes. Hey, okay, well, where to start? About 10 days have gone by since the last little bit I shot. It's now the 2nd of September, and I haven't done anything in the house at all because I've been driving backwards and forwards between Innsbruck, so I'm quite tired, but time for yet another adventure. I've set myself up. I'm going to be self-employed. Well, self-employed, I'll actually be an employer. I'm taking over the company I worked for, so that's going to be very exciting, but it was very stressful. Now it's the weekend, so I'm going to actually get back, and we'll just pick up exactly where I left off. So on one of my up and down trips, I did bring a little angle grinder with me, and I'm going to get back on these beams, because that's really what I want to do today. Then plaster, finish up the ceiling, and put the whole thing together. There's lots and lots and lots of little-ish things to do, a couple of big-ish things, but I'm going to get stuck straight in, put my mask on, put my glasses on, put my gloves on, and get back up on these beams, because I want them looking perfect. So the speed at which it blunts out one of these and makes it almost completely useless is ridiculous, but well, it's definitely getting there. And I do have quite a few of them, and I've got some more in the car. See that there? That looks like they used plaster as body filler. And there's a piece of metal in there for some reason. But I think it'll be fine. I think it'll actually probably look really good if you can see that they were sort of painted and they've just been brought back. So once I've sanded them all down, I'm going to wash them with water and then oil them, and then I'm going to mask them up so that I don't get any plaster or anything on them. And then we can do the ceiling. So straight back into it. Okay, so that's a very dusty me. And although I was wearing a mask the whole time, it's still here. I'm not going to talk to you with the mask on. That beam is now void of all paint. There are still some white spots on it. That's mostly plaster where they've tried to fill things up, but I think I'm going to go over it once with the orbital sander quite finely, and then wash it down and then oil it. I've still got the other one to do, but I've run out of flappy discs. And look what they can do to your gloves. Look at that, I went straight through. So I'm glad I was wearing them. So I'm going to let the dust settle, because there is a lot of it. I'm going to wash some of it off my face. And then I'm going to mix up some plaster. I'm going to take everything back off the wall here. And I'm going to keep doing the plaster joints. I'm probably going to take the sink off in there as well, in the little loo. And basically just keep jointing up the plaster, because that needs to be doing the plasterboard, and then plaster all of the walls. And at some point I'll head into town and get some more flappy discs. I've got the rest of the metalwork, so I can screw that up on this part here. I've got the insulation here. There's some, and there's some more outside. So basically I have everything I need except the last few bits of plasterboard to do the ceiling, and that won't be complicated. And glass for the door and window. Now they are going to be done eventually properly, but for now I'm going to sand them, paint them, and put new panes of glass in. If you remember, that's pretty much exactly what I did on that door there, and I think that looks great. And it's worked very well. It's actually kept the warmth in because it's much thicker glass. And those two big panes cost 14 euros together, so I think doing all of this window will probably cost me like maybe 30, 35 euros. And that's going to leave me enough time then to use the rim normally and wait and see if we get the eco subsidy and we get new doors and windows from the government. So I'm going to let the dust settle a bit and then get cracking. Okay, so taking the mirror and the lights off, and it's now time to do the plasterboard joints. So this whole wall, that little bit of ceiling, I've put some expanding foam around the edge there because the gap was slightly too big. I still need to put some more over there because that fell out, as it sometimes does. And in the shower, I'm not going to do the loo now, I'm going to do the loo afterwards, because we're using the loo, well, not at this moment, but we are using the loo as a loo. So I don't want to take everything off there yet. I'm going to take the shower column off, basically done everything else, so that will be fine. And if you remember, it doesn't have to be very good in here or in the loo, because both of those are going to be done with micro cement, like on the other side, so it's just basically like a render over the top. So I'm going to go mix up a bucket of stuff and then get going. Little helpers. Learning the basics of plasterboarding. How's it going, Linus?
Good.
Is it easy?
Yes.
Okay, well, as you can see, slowly coming together. Nothing like having a little helper on board. Here in the shower, I've done the back corner as well. As I keep saying, this is going to be it's going to be plastered. So, well, that cement stuff's like in the loo, so that's not a big deal. But the ceiling will have to come up nicely because that'll just be painted white. So, time for a quick lunch break. Then I'm going to probably keep plastering, keep moving around the walls. I haven't quite decided where I'll start. I might well start actually over there, because this is not the fine plaster. I want to fine plaster everything. But then again, I might also start over there. There doesn't seem to be a good reason to start anywhere. So I'll start over there. And then I'll screw the ceiling in. So lots to do, but definitely I'm so happy to now finally actually be doing something. I still need to teach the lad something about tidying his tools away when he's done. As you can see, it was tools down and off for lunch as soon as the food was ready. Starving. Right. Yeah, this is going to be good. Okay, so next up is this stuff, which is fine plaster, chalk, cement mix for old and new buildings. So it's breathable. I've tied it up. We're basically going to keep going down this wall here and try and get as much of that done as possible. So again, I can't stress how lucky I am that rustic is fashionable at the moment. But actually it goes on quite nicely. It was very wet because it's got to go on very thinly over what was already there. So I'm going to mix up something a little bit thicker now and do that bit which wasn't in such great condition, and along the plug lines and stuff. But basically that goes on quite nicely. And it's sort of a slightly rough plaster, but when it's painted I think that'll look excellent. So nothing to it, just keep going. And there we go, that was quite a bit thicker, and that smoothed that out nicely. And I've gone along where the electric line was. Now when I put some thin runny stuff on top, that'll go much easier over the green bit. But I can then also clean up that around the plug there. There we go, another bit. I've moved the wardrobe out of the way, so we're well over halfway down that wall now. And it's looking rustic, very, very rustic, but I think it'll be fine. I'll probably go over the really bad bits. There's a really bad bit there, which is much worse than the rest of the bits. Everything being a little bit bad is fine, but you can't have something that's much worse. So I'll probably have a play with that in a minute. But basically, definitely getting there. And it'll be a nice even look. I had some left over, so I also did the run in from the wall onto the plasterboard. So that now looks like it's always been there, which is brilliant. So yeah, no, definitely making progress. Okay, well, we very nearly plastered this wall. I ran out. There's about, what's that, 1.5 square feet left. So I guess I shall go and make even more plaster and keep going around the corner, but I'm going to sit down for 5 minutes and have a beer, because this is day off-ish. Okay, so I finished up the corner there. We've done the wall down here. And I'm going to call it a day for today, and I'm going to go and cook some stuff on the barbecue. It's now pretty late afternoon, but the kids are hungry, I'm hungry, everyone's hungry, so we'll have some food and then head up to the cooperativa for an apéro. So, perhaps a couple of takeaways from this week and from today. It's been a very, very stressful week. with a huge amount, but I'm always amazed at how much one can get done with a little bit of perseverance. And I am looking forward to this new challenge. It was hard work finding where we could all meet in the middle, but I think we've got there, so everything seems to be okay. It looks like I'm going to be signing everything off the end of next week, which happens to be my birthday. I haven't gotten any better at plastering, which somehow in my little brain I thought when I'd finished the other bedroom that I'd actually, I might have figured this out. Well, no, it's not great, but it'll be fine. It's, it's the rustic look. We all like that. I rediscovered podcasts this week. I, drove up and down from Innsbruck. I've been up and down 2, 3, 4 times now. So that's a huge amount of time in the car. And I've been listening to the Freakonomics podcast, which I think is brilliant. And it's amazing how much kind of settles into your brain as you're driving along. It's much better than just staring out of the window or zoning out. So yeah. I'm going to put this all together later on and I'll upload it. So I'm terribly sorry that it's been such a long time since the last update. So once again, terribly sorry for not answering comments and for leaving you all hanging for the last couple of weeks. It's been a pain not being able to do anything in the house just because I've been so busy running up and down, but hopefully it's the start of something fabulous. It normally is. And again, thank you all very much for watching. Thank you for commenting, and I'll hopefully see you in 2 or 3 days once I get some more done here and some more other stuff going on with another update. So until then, thank you very much. Take care and bye-bye for now. So the very observant amongst you might have noticed something change, like looking a little less homeless now. Dinner, we have some sesame soy sauce chicken, and we have some lemon and rosemary chicken, and over here we have some beef that's going on the infrared. My little helper has just arrived with exactly what I need as the barbecue meister, and I don't want to grumble because I'm not the grumbly sort of a person, but if I were to open this as it's designed, beer will squirt everywhere, and this has already happened to me, so not such a good design there. Anyway, beef needs another couple of seconds and then it'll be dinner time.